So as the candidates prepare for the debate tonight, the latest poll numbers show Democrat Ralph Northam leading Republican challenger Ed Gillespie.
That's right. Cliff Young, president of public affairs for Ipsos, joins us with a closer look at the number. What are you laughing at?
Oh, I have to smile.
Oh, okay. We like it. Thanks so much for being here, Cliff.
Thank you. It's great being here.
Let's take a look at the numbers in Virginia. We know right now that Lieutenant Governor Ralph Northam is in the lead. Tell us what the latest polling numbers that you looked at show and why.
Well, Northam's been in the lead really since the beginning of the race. The average, if you take all the polls together, is about 7%. We have to be always careful, right?
Yeah.
We've learned that.
Yes, we have.
Last presidential election.
Yes, exactly. We learned that. We learned that well here. So he's 7 points in the lead, and the question is why? Well, there's a number of reasons, and obviously Gillespie's going to have to do some things during the debate to push the numbers. But the first thing is Virginians are relatively happy with the way the state's going. The sitting governor right now is at 50+ in terms of approval rating, higher than Trump. Good place. People think he's doing a good job in the two main issues, health care and jobs in the economy, and that translates for Northam at this point.
Yeah. How much of this do you think people are viewing this as a referendum on what's happening nationwide, or are they looking at local issues?
Yeah, it's interesting because everyone's looking at this election as a bellwether.
Yeah.
Like, where is Trump and the anti-Trump vote going writ large? You know, really it's about local issues. People are worried about education, they're worried about health care, they're worried about jobs in the economy. It's typically those bread and butter issues. That's what they're focused on. Obviously, at one level, you want to get your base out, you want to energize your base, and both sides, especially the Gillespie side, the Republican side, is trying to energize their base through crime and immigration. As we know, all the messages have been out there. That's to get people going and energized, but the big issues are what matter, and what are those issues? Basically bread and butter.
Well, let me ask you, you brought up a good point. In last week, I believe it was, the president, we heard Veronica talk about this, sort of waded into this when he sent out a tweet basically saying that the Democratic candidate was for immigration issues that were helping MS-13, and now we're starting to see ads on TV doing that same thing. And I know, do you think that might affect this as we move closer and closer towards Election Day? Could that be something?
Yeah, at a general level, no. It's to energize the base. And so typically off-year elections are low turnout. You have typically less than 40% of the population going out and voting. In those sort of cases, you want to get your base out, you want to energize them. We can see on the other side, the Democratic side, there's now ads out there about anti-abortion. They're going to take away your right to choose. So these are wedge issues that are used to drive the base. That's what they're doing right now. And the only hope really for Republicans is that if it's a very low turnout election, and that group of Republicans is highly energized.
You know, we're talking so much about the Virginia race, but there's so much more going on right now, too. What are some other things that you think people are really paying close attention to these days?
Well, right now it's the NFL.
Yeah, I mean, let's talk a little bit more about that. Certainly it's been a hot-button issue that has, no doubt, been dominating headlines, and the protests that have been happening during the national anthem. In fact, yesterday, Vice President Mike Pence walked out of the Colts game in Indianapolis when members of the San Francisco 49ers took a knee during the anthem. Pence later tweeted he left the game because he and the president won't dignify any event that disrespects soldiers, the flag, or the national anthem.
Yeah, and also this weekend we saw Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones. He threatened to bench players who he said disrespected the flag by taking a knee during the anthem. And then today, ESPN suspended host Jemele Hill for 2 weeks for a second violation of the network's social media guidelines. And in fact, this all started in a tweet last night. She encouraged her followers to boycott advertisers of the Dallas Cowboys, Jerry Jones. She was already under fire for tweeting that President Trump was a, quote, white supremacist.
All right, so certainly, no doubt, Americans have weighed in on this. What are the poll numbers showing you?
Well, of course, the NFL is the #1 pastime. If there's any solely American brand, it is the NFL. Yeah. You know, red, blue, anywhere in between, purple, you watch it, you pay attention to it. But people are highly divided. It's a highly divisive issue. Both sides think they're right. Everyone respects the national anthem, respects the flag, but Democrats and Republicans really see it through tribal lenses. They see this issue as completely different. Republicans, on the one hand, it's all about being loyal to the country. You got to show your loyalty. You can show civil disobedience, but not during the national anthem. And Democrats really see it as a civil liberties slash a police brutality issue. And they both think they're absolutely right.
Does it move the numbers?
It doesn't move the numbers, no. Really what we're seeing is the issue with the NFL For the NFL, it does. And
Yeah.
it hurts, actually, its brand. And
Yes.
they've lost probably about 10 points off the brand over the last 2 weeks or so. That typically will pop back up. But when it comes to politics, it's just a symptom of the times. Highly polarized society, highly tribal place right now, politics. And people see the world in very, very different ways.
Yeah, I mean, with everything, it seems like these days.
Everything.
The culture.
Even the NFL.
Cliff Young, it's a pleasure to have you on.
It's great being here.
And real quick here, Cliff, we're going to let everybody know he's rooting for the Cubs.
I am sorry. I'm from Chicago.
All right, it's time to go.
But I wouldn't have a problem if the Nats won.
He did add that as well.
Say that.
By the way, and he also pointed when he came in, it's the first time we've had you face to face, not in the magic.
Yeah, I'm always
TV.
in the house, never with this august
Well, glad to
crowd.
have you in.
Yeah.
We're glad you're here, except
Thank
for the
you.
fact that you're rooting for the Cubs.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for coming in,
Thank
Cliff.
you.
I'm just teasing.
Absolutely.
Thanks for coming in.